Welcome to another episode of Live Life Now 365. I'm your host, Greg Brooks Digital, and today I wanted to talk to you all about how you can begin to overcome fear. That's right, how you can begin to overcome your feelings and how you can begin to overcome doubt. You see, we're always forced to go through things in life that require us to accept that there's going to be some level of fear that is going to be placed inside of us. But it's necessary that we understand that even in the midst of fear, truly that which is inside of us, that which makes up our core being, a spiritual connection that I'm talking about, it does not have a fear-minded thought process. That's right. When you begin to understand a biblical understanding of that, of what fear is, it says that God has not given you a spirit of fear. And so when you begin to understand that the fear that you typically inhabit is oftentimes what I like to call false impulses that are appearing real. That's right. False impulses that appear real. And these are often understood when we find ourselves being so afraid and then actually concluding that there was nothing to be afraid of. And so what you must understand is that in order for you to overcome your fear, in order for you to overcome your doubt, and even begin to better understand your feelings, it is necessary that you begin to implement a level of faith. That's right, faith that is allowing you to be able to do that which is required. And that just simply says that you have the faith of a mustard seed. You see, oftentimes we would be able to understand that if we were to put ourselves into the position of having purchased a scratch-off ticket. In doing so, we would have put in certain levels of faith in the belief that we were going to win. If any person has ever betted on anything, there was a level of faith behind the bet. But what I want you to begin to do is bet on yourself. And the way that you begin to do that is by understanding who you are and then beginning to step out on faith. You see, anytime you're being faced with something that makes you want to doubt what the circumstance is or maybe brings fear into you, you're forced with another opportunity right then and there to begin to have a level of faith that would be no bigger than that of a mustard seed, which is capable of moving mountains. But in that moment, you would have been able to transpire whatever situation you were going through because you would have been able to immediately inject into that fear or that perceived fear or that perceived doubt a level of confidence and faith that is capable of shaping your entire environment. Have you ever wondered how so many individuals have found themselves being able to overcome those things that they thought they wasn't going to be able to overcome? Well, it wasn't just because of their fear. It was because they acknowledged their fear and they were willing to go through it. You see, in order to overcome your fear, you must understand that your fear is based on your level of faith. And as you begin to build your faith up in whatever it is that it requires you to do in order to be able to know that within inside of you, there is a gift, there is something special that only resides in human beings and capable of being tapped into by any human being. And that is the ability to go within inside of yourself and identify that God-given spirit. You see, as you begin to understand your spirit that God has given you, you're going to be able to utilize it in those moments when you need it the most. Because when you begin to understand how to overcome fear, it is necessary that you accept that it is done so by exuding a tremendous amount of faith. That's right. If you want to overcome those things that have made you doubt whether or not something is going to be capable, I want you to begin to right now say that it is possible. I want you to begin right now to deal with those things that you are capable of making change toward every single day. You see, oftentimes we get so focused on the goal, and the goal determines whether or not we feel like we failed, and then that determines whether or not we're going to continue on or we're going to have doubt, and then that determines whether or not we ultimately become paralyzed in fear. But it's necessary that you understand that in those moments lies an opportunity for you to begin to take something within inside of yourself and bring it out. You see, whatever it is that you're going through right now, is a testament of all the things that you've been building itself upon. And what do I mean by that? I simply mean that oftentimes we attribute our goals to those things that we're willing to accomplish and or not able to accomplish. But we forget the opportunity that lies within the day-to-day things that we do, the day-to-day habits that we can create. And as we begin to better understand the day-to-day habits that are going to allow us to build up the tools necessary in order to deal with those days when you feel like doubt, in order to deal with those days when your feelings are overwhelming, then it's going to be hard. But that's okay. Because in life, if you can begin to do right now what is hard, your life will become easier. And so I challenge you to begin a recipe that allows for you to be able to take a certain dosage every single day of not only motivation, not only positivity, but of a level of faith that is far beyond that of what your eye can see. You see, there is no need to have faith in or hope in that in which you can see, for why would one hope in that which he can see? So I need you to begin to dig deeper than that of what your five senses is capable of comprehending, and to begin to ask yourself better questions, and then to begin to believe with all of your heart that is capable of being achieved regardless of your circumstances. And if you can begin that practice on small things, then it's going to allow for you to be prepared for the large things that are going to come your way, and they're going to appear as real, but they're really going to be a false impulse. And it's going to require you to have built up within inside of you the necessary tools to be able to turn on your faith and to begin to use it in order to get to where you gotta go. You see, never allow what it is that you've been through to stop you from going where you wanna go. And the way that you begin to do that is to begin to deal with your fear. See, I'm not telling you that we don't have fear. We all have fear. Fear is something that is in the nature of mankind, but we all have the ability to deal with it in a certain way. And so I'm suggesting that in your fear moments that you begin to build a habit to create faith. And by building the habit to create faith, it simply says that you've been able to say to yourself that regardless of what it looks like, you're going to continue to fight for what it is that you want, for what it is that you truly want to see happen. You see, oftentimes we find fear being able to paralyze us because it allows us not to be able to see the end result. And so we get caught up on the goal. Don't get caught up on the goal. I want you to focus on the things that you can begin to change right now. And I want you to begin to do them for 30 days. And as you begin to build on each one of those habits that allow for you to be able to utilize your faith, I know without a shadow of a doubt, you will be able to overcome your fears. I'm your host, Greg Brooks Digital, right here at Live Life Now 365. And I'll see you again on our next episode.